Hello Electroheads, I'm Eilis and if you can tell, I'm in Salzburg, Austria because today you and me have the opportunity to drive this brand new VW ID.5. Now we are one of the first to take this car for a spin. We're going to take a closer look at it and I'm also going to be answering your questions that you submitted. Now, should we take a closer look? The ID.5 is the third electric offering from Volkswagen after the ID.3 and ID.4. It's their first electric SUV coupe, with the selling point of it being sportier and techier than its predecessor. The ID.5 is based on the same MEB platform as the ID.4, meaning its width, length and wheelbase is pretty similar in size. What is noticeably different, however, is the new body shape, a sloping coupe roofline finished with an integrated functional spoiler for enhanced aerodynamics. Abe Bell wants to know price, range, looks nice. Yes, it does indeed. So in terms of what you get with the ID.5, there are three trims available. You have the Tech, you have the Max, and also the flagship GTX, which I have with me here today. Now they all come with the same battery, 77 kilowatt hours. And in terms of range, you're going to be getting 313 miles for the first two trims. And for the GTX, because of its better performance, you're going to be getting a little bit less range. There are three power outputs available. Of course, the GTX is the one with the most performance and it is the only one with all-wheel drive. Pricing starts from £50,550 and it can go all the way up to just under £59,000 if you're going for the pricier GTX. All models are equipped with ID Light LED matrix headlights, Volkswagen's Travel Assist safety system, a powered tailgate, tri-zone climate control, an augmented reality head-up display, and 12-way adjustable seats. The Max trim is priced from £54,050 and offers 20-inch alloy wheels, premium sport seats, a heat pump and a sports driving package, which includes dynamic chassis control, progressive steering and drive profile selection. The ID.5 GTX is priced from £58,640 and comes with all-wheel drive, bumping output to 295 brake horsepower and cutting the 0 to 62 to 6.3 seconds. The GTX includes sportier 20-inch alloy wheels, glossy finishes on the roof frame and the C-pillars, bucket seats with exclusive seat upholstery and contrast stitching, which by the way are incredibly comfortable. There's also dark blue faux leather door panels that I think lets down the interior slightly, but you might disagree. And there are GTX branded door sill protectors. Dave the video maker wants to know what are some quirks and features of the ID.5, and I want to first talk about charging. But before we go any further, I just want to apologise for all this weird sand that's on the car. Basically, we're in the mountains, and I don't know if you can hear it, but there is TNT exploding over there, so I think it's falling onto the car. Anyway, charging wise, this car is capable of up to 135 kilowatts of DC charging, which is pretty damn fast. Basically, it means that you can charge 61 miles in just 7 minutes, and you can get up to 80% in just under half an hour. Also, this car is capable of bi-directional charging, and that is the first from VW to be able to do that, which basically means that if you want to be giving energy back into the grid, then you can do that as so. Also, another cool feature as well, at the back here, you have a tow bar. Is that what it's called, a tow bar? A tow bar, yes, you've got a tow bar, which can tow a max load of 1,400 kilograms. Moving on inside, and the first thing I want to talk about is the infotainment system. Now, VW know that there have been a fair few complaints about basically how laggy it is, and they have said that they've listened to those comments and that they have worked on improving it. And so this is a new system, 3.0, and let's just have a look and see if it is any better. So I'm going to swipe. Oh, not bad. Click for navigation. Cool. Zoom out. That isn't terrible. It's pretty good. Also, I have just realized that the start button is just down here, and actually I've only just realized that because I haven't had to use it, because when you get in the car and you place your foot on the brake button, then it switches on itself. However, when you get out the car, it actually recognises that there's no weight on the seat and it switches off itself, which is perfect. No screaming or beeping when you get out of the car because you forgot to switch it off, which I do all the time. Right, anyway, I have a lot more to talk about in terms of features, but I think we should get on the road. So come on, let's go. That right there is the E sound, and that is specifically designed for VW so that basically the car makes a noise at up to 18 miles per hour or 30 kilometers an hour so that people around you can hear the car and that inside you can't really hear a thing. Another thing that people have had a few issues with in the past with VW is voice recognition. Now again, with this new software, VW claimed that it has up to a 95% recognition rate. So I think we should give it a go. Should we give it a go? Yeah, all right. Hello ID. Tell me a joke.
Oh, my developers didn't teach me that, but I'll give it a go anyway. I couldn't work out how to fasten my seatbelt. Then it clicked.
Oh, God. Wow. Well, the joke side of VW doesn't quite meet the mark, does it? Okay, let's try something again. Hello ID. Take me to Austria.
Please wait.
Oh.
Australia.
Oh.
Have a good journey.
Oh, Australia. Bit far. Another really cool feature is park assist. So you can teach this car how to park itself in familiar places. So say that you have a tight driveway that you have a little bit of difficulty parking in, well, you can teach it and it will learn at up to 25 miles per hour and 50 meters, and you're golden. I mean, I don't know who's parking at 25 miles per hour, certainly not me, but it can do it. And another great feature, which feels like it should be pretty bog standard with these more expensive electric cars, is it has over-the-air update, so that whenever VW make a tweak to the software, you get it straight to your car. The ID.5 is packed with a bunch of awesome features. However, they've managed to keep the hardware to a minimum, leaving plenty of room in the cabin. It really is spacious in here, and it feels particularly open when you have that panoramic sunroof rolled back. The Austrian mountainscapes lends itself as the perfect backdrop. Despite the sloping roofline, the rear seating feels spacious. At 5'10", there's plenty of headroom for myself and ample leg space. The MEB platform really shines here with the eradication of the ICE's transmission tunnel, so I'd say you can comfortably fit a family of 5. The boot may be a touch shorter than the ID.4's, but in total it packs a bigger literage at 549 litres, with some nicely added extra compartments for your charging cables, keeping the main space tidy. That smart design really does go a long way. Christian Fisher wants to know, how is the suspension? Is it comfortable? Well, I'm in the GTX, and that has stiffer suspension because it is the more sporty performance car, which just makes it feel better with handling. And I have to say, it's very comfortable despite it being stiffer, so I do wonder what the DCC would feel like. Another thing I want to talk about is the regenerative braking. So all you need to do to switch that on is turn the rotary switch forward actually twice to go past the drive mode and into regen. And actually what that does is when you take your foot off of the accelerator, the car starts to slow down and you can actually get a little bit more range because that kinetic energy is turned into electricity and fed into the battery. Now my one complaint, and this isn't for VW in particular, this is actually for all electric cars, is the fact with regen and also instant torque is together, combined, they can just make you feel a little bit sick. So I just want to see a manufacturer find the solution to that. And actually, Ferrari did mention that they had found the solution to making an electric car feel like a petrol diesel car. I do wonder whether they meant that, and I do wonder whether we might be seeing some kind of tweaks there in the future. Although, the more I think on this, the more I realise that actually the shift needs to come from us rather than the technology. All our lives we've been used to the connection to the mechanics of an internal combustion car, and our driving styles have been influenced by that. However, EVs offer a completely different style to delivering power, instant torque being one of them. And our use of the accelerator pedal and driving style now needs to shift to gentler usage to account for the punch of the electric motor. The car's range and brake pads will benefit, as well as our balance receptors. Let's check out the 0 to 62. Are you ready? Oh! Oh! It's got a punch! It's got a punch. 300 PS. Beautiful. Nithin S. Ahila, I hope I said that correctly, has a legendary Electroheads question. What does the horn sound like? Now, we've actually been putting this off because it is just so serene here in Austria, but let's go for it. Oh! Oh, that was actually a lot more high pitch. And actually, you don't really hear it very well because the cabin is pretty quiet. So I'm impressed. It felt like it was all the way over there, but it does sound pretty unintimidating. So I don't think you're going to be scaring any big bruisers, because that's not going to happen. Another thing I want to mention, and it is a complaint, and it's just one complaint that I have today about VW in particular, and that is the haptic touch, particularly on the steering wheel. I've been using this, I've tried to use cruise control and other bits and bobs on here, and to be honest, it's just a bit of a fumble. I'm trying to put 5 miles per hour up. I don't know if I've done 5, if I've done 10, if I've done 1. And also, of course, the haptic touch underneath the infotainment screen. You don't know if you've upped the climate control or not. I just wish that we could go back to just good old-fashioned buttons and knobs, because that's what we all like, really, isn't it?
That's what she said.
I've been driving the car for a few hours now, and I've noticed a huge improvement of the assist systems on the ID.5 compared to its previous generation. It feels like a huge step forward towards autopilot for VW. There's an awesome new feature called Swarm Data, which is an optional travel assist that actively keeps the car in lane and can even adapt to your driving style. It can maintain a set distance from the vehicle in front, help you with cornering, and adjust to the set speed limit. I found the jump between speeds to be actually quite punchy and impressive. You know your car is actively responding to the world around it, though some might find it a touch aggressive. So that's my driving experience done. I hope I managed to answer all your questions and that you got everything that you needed to know. I know that a few of you have asked some more techie questions. I'm actually headed over to the hotel where I'm staying at tonight, where I'm going to be speaking to VW technicians. So let's see what they've got to say. All right, so I'm with Jan, the global team lead for product marketing for the MEB division, and I've got a few of your questions that I'm going to fire away. Jan, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Great, I'm very good, thank you. It's been a lovely day. First question I wanted to throw your way was just about manufacturing. So there's obviously been a few delays in terms of VWs that are currently on sale going out to customers. Can you explain why that's happening?
As you know, there's a semiconductor crisis, and it's actually still ongoing. So this is quite a big explanation for our delays that we're currently having. And of course, as well, the prolongation of the Corona issue as well in China. Sorry things at the moment.
It's quite a political issue, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Okay, the next one I wanted to ask you was about price. So of course we've gone from the ID.3 to the 4 to the 5. What about, the more entry-level options for VW? Is that something that's going to come through in the future anytime soon?
Yeah, well, at the moment we see there's let's say a certain willingness for having a proper range on the cars. And if you want to have a certain range, you have to have a certain size of vehicles. And that's we came with the 3, the 4, and now the 5. So it's a little bit like a chicken-egg problem. I mean, once you have a proper electric charging situation or infrastructure in each state, then you can also come to smaller cars with less range. But at this point of time, the customer wants to have a certain range, and that's why we're rather putting these cars into the market.
Sure, and of course having a bigger battery means getting the kind of range that the general public are expecting, but of course the battery is the most expensive part of an electric car currently. Like, how much is a cell from a battery these days generally?
Well, generally speaking, and let's say industry prices, just purely talking about the battery, it's around 100 euros for the kilowatt, yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
It's very expensive. So hopefully with more development with battery technology, the prices can come down and there's more affordability in the market there.
Yeah.
Another big question is the haptic touch in the car. So it's very Marmite. Can we ask, was there a reason why VW have chosen to go towards haptic touch rather than the sort of the old school button way?
Yeah. You basically gave the explanation. It's rather the old school way of having like hard keys for every single option, because I mean, the whole industry is going more into touch direction. So you see this on the HMI displays, on the big navigation displays, as well as on the steering wheels. So I mean, you can have more options, and you can not just press one button, but actually slide over it. And actually, this is where the new generation is leading to.
Sure, the future is haptic. There we go. Thank you, Jan. Appreciate it. VW have certainly played into the hands of the booming SUV coupe market, and there's a reason for that. I mean, let's be real, I think the ID.4, bit chunky looking, not the best looking EV out there. This, however, is beautiful. It's got those lovely sleek lines. It's just a bit nicer to look at, isn't it? And I think the big selling point here is the fact that there is more performance, it's got that touch more range, and also it has that wonderful software update as well that we were all screaming for. And to be honest, of course I would love to see VW work on a car that is sub 30k, but batteries are expensive, and I do think that is one of the big reasons here. And I think overall, this kind of car, VW are making it to persuade the petrol punters to get them into EVs, and I think this is a fantastic option with its wonderful handling, its decent range, and also it is just a really fun car to have. So I want to know though, what do you guys think at home? Are you a fan? Are you just wishing that maybe they would just make a cheaper car? Let me know down in the comments, and also don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button, and I will see you soon.